So the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie divorce could last, get this, 6 more years. That's right, 6 freaking more years, cost millions more dollars, being one of the longest divorces to ever take place in Hollywood. Now, what's even crazier about this is how long this has already gone on, because right now we're looking at a divorce that's gone on for over 4 years already being one of the longest celebrity cases that anyone has ever seen, and adding in another 6 years, you would be talking about a divorce that's gone on for over a decade. I mean, imagine that, trying to move on, and yet this thing taking 10 plus years before everything is settled. See, currently there are a lot of headlines talking about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, how they're going to be facing off in their upcoming child custody battle, and that gives people the impression that it's going to be resolved soon, and you know what? People that can move on with their lives. Legal experts are saying, yeah, that's not the case at all. In fact, you're looking at a case that has already cost $1 million apiece. So, Brad Pitt spent $1 million, Angelina Jolie spent $1 million, and they haven't really gotten into the truly contentious part. You and we're going to talk about what all of this means. We're going to talk about some of the things that they really have on the table, and we're going to talk about the craziness that's come up so far. So yeah, buckle up, because this is a sordid ride. So hey there to all you fine folks. I hope you are having a great day, and if you would, please share this video far and wide. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you tell me what you think about this, and if you would, sub to the channel, help it out in the algorithm, because yeah, you're the greatest, and I appreciate that sincerely. Now, the reason that I really want to cover this, it's pretty much twofold. Number one, I find this an interesting cautionary tale. You have these folks that were basically hooked up because they were on stage. The tabloids started talking about them. And right now, they've been in divorce longer than they were actually married. Now, the second part of this is because of the accusations that were levied. Because in this current year situation, if some of these same accusations had been levied against Brad Pitt, this would have probably ruined his career. You had Angelina Jolie go out, make claims that the FBI ended up having to investigate. Why? Because they involved children. He was eventually cleared of that after the FBI looked into it. But still, you think about that again in this situation nowadays, yeah, that would absolutely ruin someone. So like I was saying previously, currently you're moving into the child custody dispute portion of this. This is a dispute over 5 underage children, but also you have the division of assets, a substantial amount of money, substantial amount of property, including a French chateau. And again, this stuff, it could drag on for years. See, as far as the children go, Pitt, for his part, has asked for a 50-50 custody arrangement. You know, where he gets the children half of the time, Angelina Jolie gets the children half of the time, and according to experts, she doesn't want that at all, and considering both of these, they have a lot of money to throw around, well, they can keep each other from doing anything. Now, Angelina Jolie, for her part, she quote-unquote continues to play hardball. And it's become even more apparent with recent court filings ahead of the trial. Jolie said that she was prepared to offer quote-unquote proof to support her allegations that Pitt, he was verbally and physically accostive during their decade-long relationship and their 2 years of marriage, according to the court documents. She basically said, I'm going to take this stand, I'm going to show you what was going on, and I'm going to have my kids take this stand as well. Now, what's interesting is that Jolie is determined to have one outcome and one outcome alone. And she won't listen to her lawyers in that, according to a lot of things that I've been reading. That's why she's already gone through several different lawyers. And as this person here, quote, is saying, that's an indication that the actress needs to get her own way and isn't willing to give up. I look at that as saying you're not willing to make any kind of concession. You're willing to burn money at a premium because, hey, you've got to win, and you've got to win on your terms and your terms alone. Now, this person that they're quoting, a lawyer, goes on to say, I've definitely had cases go on until the kids are adults. I think that is so messed up, by the way. Basically prolonging a case, keeping temporary custody and temporary child support as it is. So it locks something in, keeping you on the hook forever because there is never a decision. He says it's almost worse when people have the money because they'll just keep fighting. Other people run out of money, but Angelina has the means to keep paying for lawyers. He continues, Angelina seems to think she can get sole custody of the kids, but that is not the case. She can pay millions and millions and millions, but as long as Brad wants custody and fights for it, she's going to have to share. Again, I think that is so messed up because at the end of the day, think what that money could go for, namely the kids. I realize these people, they have money to burn, but they could set this money aside for every one of those kids, all of this money that they've wasted, not to mention all of this time. These kids are going to grow up, and this is going to be what they remember. I mean, isn't that awful? Now, speaking of what this costs, I want you to really look at some of these costs, and remember, this is by no means exhaustive. There are quite a few other costs that are probably out there, too. So as far as lawyer rates go, hourly rates may range from between $1,000 to $1,500. And the person here talking about this says, I would estimate that these lawyers may be billing 40 to 50 hours a week at times. So, just a baseline cost. You could be at the low end. You were talking about $40,000 to $50,000 a week. That would be at a month. I mean, think about this. You're talking about around $200,000 a month, and that's just for that one cost incursion, just to have one lawyer standing by one person. Now, along with those costs, get this, they have a private judge. I've never heard of them having a private judge, but apparently I'm in the wrong racket because look at these costs here. They have also hired a private judge who probably bills around $900 to $1,000 an hour. That's crazy, isn't it? So he's probably costing $10,000 a day. This gets better, by the way. Listen to this next part. So if they use him for a 5-day trial, he would probably take $50,000 up front. Of course, that's your 5-day there. Plus, he would get another $10,000 to review paperwork before that ever starts. And then if there's a lot of paperwork that he has to review on top of that, he's getting paid $10,000 per hour to go over it. Have you seen some of these legal briefs, by the way? Some of them, they are hundreds of pages long. Prepping for trial material, it takes me hours, like 5 or 6 hours sometimes, just to go through certain documents. That would be, for this judge here, that would be $60,000 just to prep on a few documents. I mean, that is utterly crazy. This person says that the judge, he's probably made by himself around $500,000 between the two. Now that stuff, it doesn't even get into the minutia, and I want to close on this detail here. Mental health professionals, for example, where they live, they could get paid $100,000 per kid to go in and to evaluate. That's one expert getting paid $100,000. 5 kids there, that's $500,000 baseline, assuming they only see one person. Accountants get paid around $500 an hour. Think about how much money goes in there, and on and on and on. Brad Pitt, he's come out, talked about this case, talked about how depressed it makes him, and I can understand that. I can understand the accusations flying, but also when you look at this, who ever thought that 2 years of your life, plus, other years when you're together, could ever turn into something like that? I mean, isn't it crazy? If people could just go with live and let live, break up, go their own separate ways, they would be happier, but no, it ain't going to go like that at all. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff, and as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff possible, so thank you. I do appreciate it. If you want to check out the channel and help it too, there are links in the description. We could use your help. As always, check those out, and thank you. I do definitely appreciate you, and I want to end here by saying that. Thank you, and we will see you next time.